Hi everyone, I'm Prashant Agrawal and you are watching another video in our series Stock Ideas. I do hope that you have been following our channel and finding value in the videos we share. We regularly post videos on stock ideas, financial freedom and another important financial related concept. Therefore, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, then just click the subscribe button on your right and you will be with us. And with that, let's talk about our today's stock. So the company I'm talking today is one of the oldest motorcycle brand in the world and it shares its history with the World War II. In fact, while this company is listed in India, yet it was not an Indian company initially. I'm sure few of you have already guessed it. We are talking about Eicher Motors today. So let's start with a bit of a history. So it was the year 1971 when Royal Enfield, a UK-based company, ceased its operation and it was sold to an Indian company called Enfield India. However, this company was also not doing that great and it was on the verge of closing this operations in 2000 because the sales were falling. The sales had gone somewhere around 2000 units a month and reliability and quality were big issues. However, something changed in the year 2000, which made this company not to close Royal Enfield, however, to make sure that Royal Enfield becomes one of the biggest multi-bagger stories of Indian stock exchanges. What actually changed in year 2000? Siddharth Lal had recently joined the company and he's asked all the managing partners that he would like to give one more shot to this company. And they all thought company is already doing so badly, what harm it can cause, and they allowed him to give the final shot to this company. And by 2011, sales increased to 74,600 motorcycles and the demand was insatiable. Now, in the current time, there were some things which were happening, and I felt they are quite interesting. So, before I go ahead, I just want to put a disclaimer that all what I'm sharing is only for the knowledge purpose. But if you are planning to invest in this particular stock, please do your own research or discuss with your financial advisor. So those few interesting points was Royal Enfield Interceptor 650 became UK's top selling bike. It sold 196 Interceptors in June and it actually was able to beat BMW as well. Well, the number is small and it might be a short sting, but it's definitely a very interesting point. Siddharth Lal has now moved to UK to focus on international operations and research, while they have hired a new person, Vinod Dasari, which comes from Ashok Leland as a CEO in India. I think is a very powerful development in this particular company. And according to 7 July interview of Vinod Dasari, they're seeing highest growth since Diwali and they are seeing a V-shaped recovery right now. Though the point to notice, the sales are still 63% down from the last year same month. So that's quite a hiccup which they need to pass. But I think these are few interesting developments which are happening. Now on the reach side and some innovations, in the last 10 years, they have now opened 900 stores. So at one time, Royal Enfield has a waiting line of 6 months for that particular bike. But now that has reduced drastically and you can go and buy a Royal Enfield bike. And I think this whole has happened because they were able to open so many stores. They came up with a concept of Enfield Studio, which is 1/5 the size of a normal showroom. And the interesting part is if you just sell 7 to 8 months bikes in a month, it turns profitable. And this gives them a huge scope to reach the most rural part of India, which they were not able to reach initially in the years 2000 or somewhere. The third biggest innovation they did was they started focusing on make to order. So think of a Royal Enfield customer who wants to have a lot of modification in his bike and now he can just order while sitting on it at its home and Enfield is going to make the way he has talked about his particular bike. And they launched telematics in BS6 engines. So now next time you face a problem, you can just look at your mobile and find where the problem is happening. And the export numbers are growing month by one, and it has grown 160% from the last month itself. And apart from India, they have got 600 stores around the world. Now, they have also started tapping the sales, apparels, and accessories market for their growth. And the most powerful thing which they are doing is they are splitting their share in the ratio of 1:10. And this share is right now trading at 19,430 price point. Think about it. A lot of people are not able to buy the stocks because it might be their whole monthly investment in a stock market is 19,000. But the moment the stock comes at a price of 1,943, it becomes very affordable for a lot of players, and a lot of players wanted to ride this particular. And this development is gonna happen somewhere in the next 3-4 months. So that's a very powerful development. Whenever it happens, it's gonna bring a lot of new retail investors in this particular stock. And if we see the retail sales in the last April, May, and June. Well, April was a watershed moment, but May and June shows that the sales have come back, and I would really look forward to the July sales. And if July sales hits 50,000 points, that would be a very positive sign for me in terms of Royal Enfield. Now, what we also saw, these were the numbers overall. However, they have not done really well if we see on a yearly basis. So their biggest product, that is engine capacity up to 350 cc classic, the market was down minus 13%, and over a year it was 19% down. And I'm talking about January right now, so this was not any impact of COVID. While above 350, they saw a bit of an uptick, which shows that market is now moving on a mid-premium segment from a 350 cc segment. And I think Interceptor launch is a very good development that they can cater to this demand more in a much better sense now. But overall, there has been a huge fall of 15% in their sales, and exports has been, as we talked, has been an interesting. Management says this was because of the whole confusion about BS4 to BS6. But if that's the case, July numbers and July-August numbers can give us a very good picture what is actually happening. So there have been an HDFC reports on two-wheelers, and honestly, they are not very bullish on Royal Enfield. And I wanted to share some of the important part of that particular report so you can make an informed choice. So they say demand from the southern states is going to fall because remittance is not going to come. What they mean by remittances? So Kerala has been a strong market for Royal Enfield, and a lot of people from Gulf who have to come back because of COVID are going to cut their expenditure in a big way. So that's one reason. They say the BS6 expense increase has been 15 to 20,000 for Royal Enfield bikes, and which is going to hurt their market in the tier 3 and tier 4. And due to COVID, there are a lot of plants are in Tamil Nadu, so do expect a gradual scale of operations. So they are overall quite negative on Eicher Motors. Let's see what they have to say. So the bottom stone of this report is the fall of Harley Davidson sales. However, in my opinion, it's actually not the right indicators to measure, because Harley Davidson market starts from 650cc. However, Royal Enfield biggest market is the 350cc market right now. Secondly, Harley Davidson faces the headwinds because they manufacture their bikes in US, and whenever they export, they face huge tax duties which they need to pay. Simultaneously, Europe has been performing well while their main market has been US. So few of these factors, I think, are not the right measurement to compare Harley Davidson with Eicher. And Eicher has been focusing on Europe. So Europe has been doing great. It might face impact, but I'm sure when it comes to coming back also, Europe will come in much faster in comparison to the other continents. And I completely agree with this particular slide. And it's important that we understand that there's huge amount of new domestic competition coming. So Mahindra has launched Java bikes. Bajaj has launched in Trump, partnership with Trump, and they both Java and Trump targets the same segment of 200 to 750 cc. And TVS Motors have come with an acquisition of Norton Motors, though they are not coming in India at this point, but I'm sure in the next 1 or 2 years they will love to launch in their home ground. However, this shows to me that in the next 1 or 2 years, all these companies believe that a lot of people will like to upgrade their bikes and they will love to jump on mid premium segment. So that's how I will look at this particular data. Talk about the studio concept, and most of these studio concepts have been able to break even for Royal Enfield now. So I think a lot of other players, new dealerships can come, and according to Vinod Dasari, most of these dealerships has been bought by the initial dealer, which shows me the confidence which their dealers have in the Royal Enfield brand. So simultaneously, if you see, in 2014 in UP, their market share was 1%, and now it has come to 4%. In West Bengal, it was 2%, they have come to 4%. In Tamil Nadu, they have made strides from 2% to somewhere at 9% at some point. Now they might be at 6 or 7%. So they are trying to leverage this studio concept in places where their market was quite low. So on one side of this slide, we have got states with very low penetration like Rajasthan, MP, Bihar, while on the other side, we have states with high penetration like Goa, Kerala, Chandigarh. And what they have done from FY18 to FY20 is that where they had less number of share in dealership, they have increased their percentage. For example, UP, they have increased from 10% to 16%. The others percentages has reduced from 17% to 6%. So I think that's a huge, powerful movement in terms of reach, because now as a customer, I will feel, oh, Royal Enfield store is very near to my house in UP, and I can now get better service. So let me buy Royal Enfield as well. So the top 5 positive signs which makes me really bullish on this company, first is innovation. So they're launching new product every quarter. Think about Royal Enfield, which was only sticking to one classic and a 500 cc bike, but now they are launching new concepts. And secondly, Interceptic winning so many prizes in all over the world gives me a lot of confidence about this particular company. They've also brought affordable uh, versions of Bullet Electra, Thunderbird, and other bikes, which are 10,000 to 15,000 less, to target those customers which might feel the pinch because of the BS6 thing. And I feel telematics is a great solution for people in the rural part to understand what problems are happening in their bike. Now they are targeting other extra source of incoming. So targeting apparel and accessories, and the make to order is a great concept for the customers of Royal Enfield. The studio concept is a great tool by which they will be able to reach a huge mass of their customers, and their export numbers are showing huge potential in the in the long run. And last but not the least, they have got some top management. Vinod Dasari from Ashok Leland legacy, and Siddharth Lal, who has now moved to tap to the international operations. I think that's a huge, great potential which I see in this particular company. So there are few things which we need to worry about as well. So they have concentrated a lot of their plants in Tamil Nadu, and they recently opened one in Thailand. But Tamil Nadu being affected because of COVID hugely, I think there can be some lags in the production. The 85% of their customers are still upgraders. So these are the people who have a bike, but then they feel they need to upgrade and they move to Royal Enfield. But it might happen that they defer their decisions to buy a bike, and this is a very valid reason. Classic 350 still holds 70% of the company's RE revenues, and we are seeing a huge drastic fall. So 17% happened in last year. Uh, in the 350 segment, and 500 segment has been increasing, but concentration of 70% is a huge concentration. So I would be worried about that. Last but not the least, I will keep looking at the ratios because their operating margin has fallen by 700 basis points, which is a huge fall in their operating margins. And they have taken two price hikes, which I believe will pass on some of these costs to the customers and can bring back these operating margins for them. Now, let's look at some of the ratios as well. So let's go to Screener. Great. So this is a large cap company with a market cap of 51,364 crores. The current price is 18,811. The P is 28.11, which is on a higher side in compared to a large universe of Nifty or other companies. But I think this company had been on a PE of 45 to 50. So this is quite reasonable, because if you see ROCE of 40.59 and ROE of 27.60, so from company like Royal Enfield, we do expect great things. So that's why I think the stock PE is at a reasonable. If you see at the book value of 3655, so it's somewhere around price to book value of 5 point something. So that's also a very decent or on an expensive side. But again, this is a Royal Enfield company we are talking about. So the dividend payout ratio is also great. And there's a ratio called Altman Z score. This is a great ratio which talks about manufacturing companies and how well they are running their operations on the financial terms. So higher the better. So Altman Z score of 16.46 shows that it's quite doing decently well. There's not any percent of pledge share. So that's given me a lot of confidence. So this company financially is very strong at this particular point of time. If we see the 3-year chart, they have not done great. So if you see, they were at 32,000 somewhere, but right now they are at 18,000. So quite value has decreased, but I think the split is going to bring a lot of retail investors in this stocks. Similarly, if you see the 5-year chart, they are back somewhere around the 2015 level. So they really need to take their things better. And I feel the things which they had been doing in the last 2-3 years will definitely benefit them a lot. Company is virtually debt free, and company has been providing quite a good ROE, but I think I expect a lot more from this company in the coming years. See the sales numbers. So sales numbers has been falling. So it increased till 2,500, but then from 2000 June 2019, we has not seen a good numbers right now. So I'm expecting that in the quarter of October, I should see somewhere 2,500 numbers touching for this particular company. Now, if I see the last 10 years, 5 years or 3 years on sales growth, profit growth and stock price, so I think they have not performed well from the 5 years terms, because while 10 years gives a compound sales growth of 19%, but 5 years it's only 7.55 and 3 years it's 16.64. So there's a lot of potential for this company to do perform. And this is one reason, like sometimes what happens is a company is doing all the right things, yet it's not performing. So I feel sometime or the other, the market is going to come back. And it was not that Royal Enfield was the only company which was getting beaten down in the auto sector. It was a complete auto sector which was getting beaten down because of the lot of development of BS4 and BS6. So that's where I feel this company has done a lot of right things when the market was down, and because of the COVID, the things will just get faster and they will reap the benefits now. Now, if we see at the promoter shareholding also, the promoter has been quite bullish on this particular stock, and their share has not reduced drastically. So in June 2017, it was at 50.56, and in March, it's still at 49.28. So these are the few symptoms which I feel gives me a lot of confidence about this particular stock. So last, what's my investment thesis for this particular stock? So it's a great company with a strong brand, and it has been doing a lot of right things in the last 2-3 years, and I think COVID is just gonna speed up those things. So I'm quite bullish on this particular stock. Secondly, what I personally believe is I will wait for the July numbers to see whether the recovery is meaningful or not. So while the stock is right now at a level of 19,000, and I feel it might fall a little bit more around 17,500, but if you invest at this point also in the next 2-3 years, it has got a huge runway for making a lot of money for the shareholders. Uh, so with this, I stop today's stock research, and thank you. And I do hope that you like this video and found the content useful. Do share the feedback you have for this particular session. And yes, please share this videos so others can benefit, and subscribe to our Nivesh Gyan channel. Thank you.